TinkerCAD tips, welcome back. This is going to be TinkerCAD 101, lesson number 2. If you missed lesson 1, just click on my profile up there, my bio pic. Look down through the videos a little bit. You should see it right before this one. Or you can always click on my TinkerCAD tips playlist and find all of my tutorials out there. I think there's nearly 600 of them going back about 3 years. Lots of great stuff. So my last tutorial, I was going over the workspace here and some of the features and functions that we have available to us here. And I had left off over here in the upper right hand corner. I have a couple of items that I put out on the Workplane here. So we'll just go ahead and click on one. So up here in the upper right, we have a couple other buttons: import, export, and send to. Import, of course, if we click on this, we get a dialog. We can click choose a file, and if there was a files available on your computer, you'd be able to select them and bring them into TinkerCAD. There's also export. Let's click on that. So I have a shape selected here. I can click on export. This was going to send it out. Now, normally speaking, we choose the STL option here to make a standalone STL file, but we have other choices. We could take that object and send it into Fusion, Autodesk Forma, or we can also send these to OBJ zip files that are useful for multicolor printers and other slicers, for instance, Prusa Slicer and Bamboo Studio. Send to, we can take a copy of our project here, and we can either send an object or send this entire project to somebody else. You can send it to Google Drive, over to Fusion. You can share it on some of the social or 3D communities. You can also grab yourself a copy of a link here. For instance, if we say invite people, we can collaborate. We generate a new link. We can copy that link and then go and paste that into an email or a text message to somebody. They'd be allowed to come in and work on this project with you. That's another cool feature that I've discussed before in tutorials. Also in the upper right, we have a couple of more tools here. We have the Workplane tool. Now the Workplane tool, which is also W on the keyboard, is used to put the working workplane on a surface on one of the objects or items in your workspace. So if I click on this, I get this little icon floating around here. You see the little up arrow there. I can place it on this surface. That becomes the new workplane. So if I bring out an object, it immediately goes to that workplane. I can also click on the workplane. If I zoom in here, if I hold down the Shift key, then that workplane will be flipped upside down, actually pointing into the object. So for instance, if I bring out this cylinder now, notice that it's on the underside of the workplane. We have the ruler tool. We can bring that out here. Let's get rid of our workplane here. Let's go back to the default. You can always put the workplane back on the default workplane by moving it out to this white area out here. Click on that. It puts it back. We have our ruler tool here. Let's go ahead and dismiss this one. Let's click on that again. We can bring the ruler tool out, and I've done whole tutorials about this as well. And it gives you these ruler markings, and we can use it to help align objects or size objects. You can also flip the arms of this ruler around. You see now it goes up and to the left. If I click here, now it's to the left and down. Click again, and it just keeps rotating around. Go look for my other tutorials about using the ruler tool. If you click on this X here, that'll dismiss the ruler. We also have notes that we can place on certain things. We can drop a note here. Say this is a note. So that's a cool way to label different stuff. If you want to keep a note, that's always persistent. or you can delete the note, or you can close the note. See how the note kind of disappears, but it stays kind of where it's at. Or you can open this up, click in here, and delete the note. Right below that, this is where we're going to get a lot of our shapes and things from. Now, by default, what you get over here are all of the basic shapes. You can click on more shapes down here, and there's one additional one. But you have all of your basic shapes here, the square, the cylinders, the spheres, for instance. And whenever you bring out an object like this sphere here, quite often you get a dialog with that. The sphere has its own dialog where you can set the number of steps, the color. You can choose all sorts of different custom colors here for this, or preset colors. You can do all of that. Squares, for instance, they have their own type of dialog. We can radius the corners, number of steps, the length, the width, the height. Okay. So you have all of these different basic shapes that you can select, and you select them just by clicking on them and then dragging the cursor over, and wherever you want it to be, you can click again. Now, one thing that you can do with shapes that's kind of slick, let's delete this cone here for a minute, and I'm going to click it again. When you first bring out an object, you're in cruise tool mode. And I showed you that a little earlier. You can take an object and move it about and put it on any one of these other surfaces. We can come around, click here, and that's where that particular object goes. I can click away. To get that back, I can just click on that shape. I can click on the cruise tool here, which is this magnet shape, and we essentially get that same thing back. You just grab that center white dot, start moving it around to where you want it. So we have that. Let's go ahead and delete that cone for now. Now, in addition to all of our basic shapes, we have so many more things that we can choose from here. If you go into your drop-down, you have all these choices. Your creations, we have the ability in TinkerCAD to create our own shapes, and once we get them set the way that we want, and if we want to reuse them in other projects, we can click on, select an object here, we can click on Create Shape, and we get a whole dialog in which we can name that shape, set certain tags with it, set the color, and then we can save that to our favorites, essentially. So that's your creations. We also have favorites. That's a little bit different. Favorites are any of the basic shapes or other shape generators that we want to use most often, and we can put a little star next to them, and they will always appear over here in our favorites. I have quite a few that I've selected over the years, ones that I like to use because they're quite handy in what they do. We can also see letters and numbers, and there's tons and tons of these basic shapes that are different numbers and letters, etc. And I urge everybody to go and explore some of these design starters. Go and explore some of these things. Hardware, electronics, there's all sorts of basic electronic shapes. But the one that I think a lot of us use a lot is clear down here at the bottom, the shape generators. And there's some things out here that allow us to use shapes that are more usable. Things like this here. This spring could actually be used to create threads, for example. We have shapes that could be used to create textures, like this Voronoi. And there's tons and tons of these shape generators. A lot of times you see new ones being added. Others sometimes go away. Here we have a text shape generator that would wrap text around the circumference of a circle, for example. And there's so many more of those. So we're getting to the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was Lesson 2. Be watching for Lesson 3. I'll continue going through some of the basics of TinkerCAD, maybe some more of the shape generators, and then about movement, rotation, and sizing. As always, like, follow, and repost. drop me a comment. Happy tinkering!